Chapter 322. 5 Thunder Bombardment, Heavenly Formation. Brother, it seems to be looking for you. Little Gold heard the other party's words clearly and said with some doubt, "It is indeed looking for me. Go over and take a look." Kang Qiao was a little curious. What was this group of people looking for him for? He didn't remember knowing such a group of people. At this moment, at the entrance of the testing hall, there were still many disciples of the Heavenly Tao sect stopping to watch, appearing unusually lively. I wonder if any of the senior brothers and sisters know of a disciple called Kang Qiao. At the entrance of the testing hall, Yuan Lin's face was filled with anxiety as he asked the passing crowd. Beside him, a dozen or so disciples of the Heavenly Tao sect were also ignoring their injuries and asking around for Kang Qiao's whereabouts. Although the Heavenly Tao sect had an intelligence department that could look into the whereabouts of the Heavenly Tao sect disciples, Kang Qiao, because he was the disciple of the law enforcement elder, was unable to look into his whereabouts without the status of a sated son level. Therefore, Yuan Lin could only lead the crowd and make inquiries here. The test hall was crowded with people and was the place where the Thousand Blade Saber Valley disciples gathered the most. And Yuan Lin had obviously prepared for it by choosing this place, only to their disappointment, this month, but did not explore any news of Kang Qiao. After all, in this Thousand Blade Saber Valley, the only people who could know about Kang Qiao were Huang Dao, Niu San, and a limited number of others who had all gone to the Wind and Cloud continent and had yet to return. Moreover, because of the matter of Little Gold's tribulation, Kang Qiao had not returned this month either, so Yuan Lin naturally could not probe for any news. However, they still continued to ask the passing crowd here, "Kang Qiao, does our Heavenly Tao sect have this person?" "Never heard of it. Never heard of it." The passing disciples of the Heavenly Tao sect all shook their heads. Kang Qiao's name might have some prestige amongst the Dark Gold Peak and some outer disciples, but for the huge Heavenly Tao sect, that prestige was almost negligible. Geniuses like Zhao Wuji and Dao Yi had only made a name for themselves after they had made a name for themselves in the battlefield of the righteous devils, and had made it onto the Devil Dao's immortal punishment list. Kang Qiao clearly hadn't reached that level yet. These people are in such a sorry state. It looks like they have suffered an attack from a strong person of the Devil Dao. Looking at Yuan Lin and the others in a sorry state, some people shook their heads and sighed. The orthodox and demonic battlefield was very cruel. They had seen this kind of people many times, and there were even people who came back with broken arms and legs, even more miserable than these people. This was the cruelty of the orthodox demon battlefield. It's good that they were able to come back alive. Someone whispered. Around Yuan Lin and the others, some of the Heavenly Tao sect disciples who were resting in the Thousand Blade Valley stopped to watch. It's been a month, and there's still no news from Kang Qiao. Could it be that this person isn't in the orthodox demon battlefield? Yuan Lin was secretly anxious. Senior brother Yuan, it's not a solution to wait so dryly. Why don't we split up some people to go back to the Heavenly Tao sect to probe for news? Didn't San Xiao say that Kang Qiao and him came from the same place? We can send someone to the Great Tang country to take a look. On the side, Skinny Bum walked over and said, "Good, you take someone to go and take a look, and visit Third Young's family on the way. But don't tell them anything about Third Young, as long as Third Young isn't dead yet. None of us can give up." Yuan Lin looked at him and said in a deep voice, "I understand." Skinny Buraku nodded his head. Right after Slim Burayu left with a few people, Kang Qiao and Zijin walked over and stopped in front of Yuan Lin. "You're looking for Kang Qiao," Kang Qiao said indifferently. Little Gold curiously sized up Yuan Lin from the side, and after a moment, he skimmed his mouth and muttered darkly, "Only in the late out-of-body stage, unbearable. Doesn't look like he's looking for trouble from his brother." To senior brothers, you know about Kang Qiao. Yuan Lin's eyes lit up with surprise when he heard Kang Chon's words. Seeing this, several other heavenly Dao sect disciples also gathered around, looking at the two of them, Kang Tia and Zijin, with anticipation on their faces. To senior disciples, do you know Kang Tia? Where is he? Quickly tell us. These heavenly Dao sect disciples asked anxiously. Kang Tia could not help but frown. Little Gold on the side was a bit unhappy as he droned. Hey, what's with your attitudes? What's the matter with finding my brother? If it wasn't for the fact that these people were disciples of the Heaven's Path sect, he wouldn't bother talking nonsense with them. Sorry, we are looking for Kang Tia for something very important. Yuan Lin hurriedly apologized and then said, It's Chen Sanxiao who entrusted us with ... Before he could finish, he was interrupted by Kang Tia, but he saw a brilliant light in Kang Chon's eyes, and a huge pressure enveloped Yuan Lin as he drank in a low voice. Chen Sanxiao, where is he? What does he want with me? After not seeing Chen Sanxiao for so many years, Kang Tia was also a little anxious. Sorry, we are looking for Kang Tia. ... Yuan Lin said. But in his heart, he was shocked. This purple clothed youth in front of him was too strong. That terrifying pressure actually made his body tremble. Genius is definitely a genius. Yuan Lin secretly marveled. He could see that Kang Tia was only at the 9th level of the Yuanying stage, but his strength was so strong. He was definitely a genius. I am Kang Tia. Kang Tia frowned. Where's the third young man? Quickly tell me. You are Kang Tia. Yuan Lin's eyes lit up at his words. Then he glanced around and whispered, There are many people here. Let's talk somewhere else. Follow me. Kang Tia nodded his head when he heard this, and despite the great anxiety in his heart at the moment, he still pressed on and led Yuan Lin and the others to the cave where he was. In a short while, the crowd arrived at Kang Chon's cave residence in the Thousand Blade Valley. What exactly happened? As soon as they entered the cave mansion, Kang Tia asked anxiously. Something happened to third young master, Yuan Lin whispered, and Kang Chon's heart sank, but he managed to remain calm and said in a deep voice, Tell me carefully. The matter is like this. ... Yuan Lin didn't talk nonsense and directly told Kang Tia the truth, even though Chen Sanxiao didn't let him tell Kang Tia. But sensing Kang Chon's strength, he decided to take a gamble. Perhaps this is third young master's chance. Yuan Lin looked at the purple-clothed youth in front of him, harboring strong expectations in his heart. Kang Tia listened carefully to his narration. His brows furrowed and his face became increasingly gloomy. Zijin, who was on the side, was filled with gravity, his eyes flickering. No one else spoke, and the atmosphere within the cave was grave. Soon after Yuan Lin finished speaking, he looked towards Kang Tia and said in a deep voice, Originally, Sanxiao did not allow me to tell you, but I think you can save him, please. This senior disciple, if there is any use for our disciples, feel free to command. For the sake of third young, we are willing to sacrifice everything, including our lives. A few other heavenly Dao sect disciples also hurriedly said, everyone's eyes filled with determination. It's directed at me. Kang Tia ignored them and thought secretly in his heart, after listening to Yuan Lin's narration. Even if he was a fool, he understood that the other party was coming for him, and that Chen Sanxiao was using him entirely because he was caught by the other party by accident. Senior brother Yuan, doesn't that person have any words for you to relay to me? Kang Tia looked towards Yuan Lin for this group of Chen Sanxiao's life and death friends. He still had a good feeling. At least Sanxiao didn't make the wrong friends. Oh, I almost forgot. That person asked me to give this to you. Yuan Lin sniffed and hurriedly took out a jade slip from his spatial ring and handed it to Kang Tia. HMPH. Seeing this jade slip, Kang Tia snorted coldly and probed his divine thoughts into it. Instantly, the jade slip burst into pieces, and a shadow formed in midair. and it was clearly that windless, hegemonic Emperor Kangxia. It's been a long time since I've seen you. I still remember that slash of yours. Windless laughed blandly. The crowd listened carefully. They knew that this was the voice left by Windless Will, without any thoughts. It's him. Kang Chon's eyes shrunk when he saw Windless. Originally, he was wondering when he had messed with a formation powerhouse. But he didn't expect it to be Windless, whom he had met in the spirit sealing space. Brother. Zijin's eyes were filled with killing intent. He also recognized Windless. Among the people who had surrounded him back then, Windless bore the brunt of the attack. All right, I won't say any more nonsense. Take that golden token and go to the top of Chalu O Peak in exchange for your brother's life. Otherwise, I will make his life worse than death. Remember, only you are allowed to come alone. If I see anyone else who shouldn't be here, the consequences will be clear to you. After Windless's words were finished, he instantly dissipated in a bit of light. Kang Chon's face was terribly gloomy as a cold light flickered in his eyes, and killing intent erupted. Little Gold on the side was also filled with anger and a murderous aura. Windless, Kangxia clenched his fists and said with a face full of murderous anger, "Last time, you dodged a bullet. But this time, you still came to seek death. Truly, there is a road in heaven that you don't take. And there is no door in hell that you barge in. It just so happens that I'm looking for you as well." While Kang Chon's heart was filled with anger, he felt that this might be an opportunity or not. Originally, he couldn't find Lu Hai. He had already given up on the treasure hidden behind those two golden tokens. But the appearance of Windless gave him hope again, since the other party wanted to recapture the golden tokens so badly. Then he must know what they represented. "Kid, don't be careless. I've heard of this sect, the Great Diffusion Sect. Their formations are unique. Be careful," Emperor Dan reminded Kangxia in his mind. "Don't worry. This token is so important. I'm sure he will only seize it with his own strength and not with the help of others," Kangxia sneered. He expected that Wu Feng, like Lu Hai at the time, would definitely not share the treasure. Left behind by a loose immortal to others, this was the greed of a cultivator. Well, that makes sense, but don't be careless. The Great Diffusion Sect's formations are indeed powerful. Emperor Dan nodded. Kangxia looked at Yuan Lin and inquired, "Senior brother Yuan, can you tell the cultivation of that person and the power of the great formation that trapped you at that time?" Yuan Lin smiled, pondered for a while, and said gruffly, "We can't tell the cultivation level of that person, but he was able to control the formation with his divine thoughts, so he must have been at the out-of-body stage undoubtedly. As for that formation ... Speaking here, a trace of palpitations flashed in Yuan Lin's eyes as he said, "I haven't heard of that formation, but I can see that it is a combination of a trap and kill formation. After the formation was formed, we were blocked off by a boundary, and even with our joint full force strike, we were unable to break through that boundary. And in the middle of the formation, there are 9 divine dragons, each of which has the strength of a peak outbreathing stage. So I'm afraid that even an outbreathing stage Seal King powerhouse would find it difficult to break the formation in a short period of time." Just that, Kang Chon's eyes narrowed, and between the slits, his eyes were cold. This is the 9 dragons trapping and killing formation. To be able to set up this kind of formation, that boy is not simple. However, this kind of formation is only capable of trapping an out-of-body stage Seal King powerhouse. While it cannot kill an out-of-body stage Seal King powerhouse, Emperor Don's voice came out. "In that case, then he's dead this time," Kangxia sniffed and said in a cold voice. The two of them together, he and Little Gold, were completely capable of fighting even as they encountered an outbreathing stage Seal King powerhouse. Swoosh, the two figures rose up in the air in the Thousand Blade Valley, and then headed in the direction of the wind and cloud continent ********. Their speed was so fast that they disappeared from everyone's sight in the blink of an eye. I hope they can succeed. In the Kang Heavenly Cave, Yu Onlin looked at the two figures that disappeared into the sky, his eyes filled with hope. Beside him, several Heavenly Dao sect disciples also looked expectant. Third young master must come back alive.